With the new Mufasa movie coming out, you probably wondered who Kiara's new little brother could be. Because when we look at any other Lion King movie, we don't see Kiara's brother anywhere. This could be kind of confusing, because in The Lion King 2, we see how Kiara grows older without a brother. And in the new Mufasa movie, Kiara is just a little cub when she gets her little brother. But what if I told you this little cub is named Kion? If you've never heard of Kion, he is Simba and Nala's second child in the Lion Guard series. I first didn't consider the Lion Guard canon anymore after seeing the new Mufasa movie, since the story of how Taka got his scar didn't add up anymore. But after thinking about it a little more, I changed my mind. So, pay close attention and I will explain to you how Kion fits into the Lion King universe, and was even already born in the Lion King 2. First, we should look at the age difference between Kiara and Kion in the Lion Guard. In the first episode of the Lion Guard, it's clear that Kiara is the older one, and therefore she is future queen of the Pride Lands. Kion was still very playful and all in for fun, until he got the gift of the Roar of the Elders, which made him leader of the Lion Guard. The animals in the Lion Guard are the protectors of the Pride Lands. So for the beginning of the Lion King 2, we have to assume Kion was just not born yet, since we know Kiara is older. But why wasn't he in the rest of the movie then? Well, when Kion was busy protecting the Pride Lands, Kiara was training for her queen duties. The Lion Guard is mainly focused on Kion, while the Lion King 2 is about Kiara. And when we look at the Lion Guard, we see that Kion didn't make it back in time for Kiara's first hunt, which is the moment that we see that Kiara has grown. But to see why Kion wasn't in the rest of the Lion King 2, we should go back to the point where Kion defeats Scar's evil spirit in the Lion Guard. Kion and his guard had the perfect plan to defeat Scar, but unfortunately, Scar also had a plan. At the time the guard entered the volcano and faced Scar, he was bitten by a venomous snake named Ushari. This snake had left him with a scar across his eye and poison that would make him lose control of knowing what is wrong and right. This scar also looked a lot like the mark of evil, which made Kion even more nervous. But luckily, it wasn't for nothing, because they still got to defeat Scar's evil spirit with the help of the lions of the past. But unfortunately, Kion wasn't the only one to get hurt during this battle. His friend Ono, the keenest of sight from the Lion Guard, also hurt his eyes by diving into the volcano. But it was also good he did, because he saw just in time his friend Bunga fall in, and he wouldn't have made it otherwise. But Kion and Ono needed help, because they wanted to protect the Pride Lands at their best again. Therefore, they went to Rafiki, and that is what led us to the answer to where Kion was during the Lion King 2. Because Rafiki told them they needed to go to the Tree of Life to get healed, so they did. But this was a very long journey, where they made lots of friends, but also lots of enemies. And these enemies made their trip even longer. But eventually, they got to the Tree of Life. Ono was healed easily. He only had to wait a few days before his medicine was ready, but Kion's healing would need more time. But unfortunately, the enemies that they made on their way had followed them to the Tree of Life and started their attacks. This slowed down the healing a bit, but it all turned out fine, because Kion eventually met Askari, the first leader of the first Lion Guard, who knew everything about the Roar. His spirit lived on in Chica Escarpment, which was next to the Tree of Life. Askari had taught Kion everything about the Roar, and how he could truly master it. Kion then used it to send all the enemies away, and the Tree of Life was saved again. The whole guard had a great time there. Kion even started to like Rani, future queen of the Tree of Life. But why haven't we heard of the Tree of Life or the characters in the movie? Well, because in the movie everyone was busy fighting Zira, but it doesn't mean the Tree of Life didn't exist yet. Because after some time, the Lion Guard gets called back to the Pride Lands by Jasiri and Janja. Jasiri was the friendliest hyena there is, and Janja had recently moved over to the good side and teamed up with her. They came to warn the Lion Guard of new danger in the Pride Lands, and here is where it gets interesting. Because Jasiri told Kion Zira and her evil lions had returned. And where do we know Zira from? That's right, from the Lion King 2. The Lion Guard immediately set off on a journey back to the Pride Lands, but it had been some time since they left, so what if this time gap was the timeline of the movie? That would mean that Kion was just at the Tree of Life during all the drama with Zira's lions. That means the Tree of Life did exist, but just wasn't important for the Lion King 2. Because when Kion and his guard had returned to the Pride Lands, everything had been solved already. The Pride Landers told the Lion Guard that Zira and her lions had tried to attack Simba's pride, but that Kiara and Kovu stopped them. Kiara showed them they were all the same, and everyone made peace, except for Zira. You recognize this story? Because this describes what happened in The Lion King 2, so I think Kion could have been born in The Lion King 2. But during the time of the movie, he'd been away. When we look at the ages, it fits very well. First, look at Kiara and Kion before Kion left to the Tree of Life. Kiara looks younger than the time Kovu saved her from the fire, where the fight in The Lion King 2 started with. But then, when we look at Kiara and Kovu's age, when Kion returns from the Tree of Life, they seem to be around the same size in the movie, especially when we look at Kovu's mane. Therefore, it makes me think that Kion was already born, but he just was away during the time that Zira and her lions attacked the Pride Lands. We hear Kovu tell the Lion Guard how Zira had always told him Simba was their enemy. But after he got to know Simba and Kiara, he realized he was wrong. The rest of the story matches with what happens in the movie as well. Zira launched an attack on Simba's pride, but Kovu and Kiara came just in time to stop them. Eventually, we see how they all live together in the Pride Lands, just as in the movie. But there are some other things that happened while the Lion Guard was away, because Kovu's little sister, Vitani, had created a new Lion Guard. After some battles to decide which Lion Guard was the best, the final decision came when Vitani told Kion she didn't need the roar to lead her guard. Kion remembered Ascari's words that only the one that can let go of the roar completely can truly master it. So when he saw how fierce Vitani was, even without the roar, he knew he had to pass it on. Ascari saw this as a sign Kion had completely mastered the roar, so he gave Kion the roar again to use it at the Tree of Life. Kion and his guard got back to the Tree of Life, where Kion became a king, ruling with Queen Rani. That means he was only there for a short time in the Pride Lands after Kovu and his lions had joined Simba's pride. So the makers of The Lion King 2 probably didn't see any good reason to add Kion to the movie, since it would have just been a distraction from their story and main characters. I think Disney has been very smart in connecting all the universes and movies with each other. By this, I mean how they connected the original Lion King, live-action Lion King, and all the Lion Guard series. They're all different, yet for the most part, they all fit the same story. That's why I consider this canon for the live-action Mufasa movie as well. But I'm curious what you think. Is this little cub at the end of Mufasa really Kion? Or did Disney make the Lion King story more complicated again? Does this mean that Kion was just away during Zira's attacks? Or was there another reason he wasn't in any other Lion King movies? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this theory, make sure to turn on that notification bell and join the Pride Lands. I'll catch you next time.